Hi, I'm Shaka Hislop, and you're here at Extra Time TV.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Extra Time TV. This is Andres Oakland, and once again I'm joined with the man from Scotland, James Baird. How are you today?
I am very good, Andre. Great to be here. I mean, I know we've had a little bit of a break for us two doing the show, but I'm very happy to be back, and I'm looking forward to us talking all things football as always.
Yes. James sporting his Azzurri jacket today. So, James, could you explain that? What's happening? What's with the Azzurri jacket?
I have always had a thing for Italy. I mean, even since I was a young lad, I always liked the Italy strips, so the Italian players. I mean, obviously, I always say I have a fondness for AC Milan. When I used to play all the football games, Football Manager, all these things, Championship Manager, it was always Italian teams. So it was just something that I always liked. I always liked the style of play, that rugged, technical game that they have. So why not?
Same here. I mean, everybody knows me as an Argentinian fan, but I have lots of love for Serie A and Italian football. So I can understand that, James. I can understand that well. So, guys, we're going to head straight into the Champions League football. We had an amazing week. First we're going to speak about Manchester City. Pep Guardiola versus Pochettino, getting a 2-1 victory over Pochettino and his men in France. It looked like Paris, was in charge of this game in the first half, and they got a goal from Marquinhos. And then all of a sudden, it was I hate to use the cliche, a game of two halves, but then Manchester City really turned it on in the second half. So, PSG are really fancying their chances this year, but, Pep also kind of broke the little hoodoo that he normally has in this particular stage in the tournament when he, in fact, decides to get to this point. What do you think about this particular game, James?
I really enjoyed this game. I mean, I actually took a few weeks off football and tried not to watch any, but this game brought me back with a bang. And I was so impressed with PSG the first half, as we said. I mean, they played with such an intensity. They pushed Man City back. I mean, I thought the front three, Di Maria, Mbappe and Neymar were fantastic. I thought Marquinhos took his goal very well. And I thought some of those corners that Di Maria were putting in were just magnificent, Yep. So I thought they were going to run away with it at that point. And then obviously, as you said, the tables turned the second half and it was like a different game. The game went on its head. And obviously, as we saw, the game finished 2-1 to Man City. So it was an interesting game.
Yep, and I was looking at that game and I really thought, and I said this, another cliche, I was like, if these guys don't take their chances in the first half, I think they're going to pay for it because they really had Manchester City on the ropes. They looked like, they didn't look like the Manchester City side that we see in the Premier League that, really seems on the offensive and dominates possession and, look confident. And, Di Maria, as you said, I'm a huge fan of Di Maria. I think I'm glad now he has always been a good player, but I think when people mention PSG, they quickly go to Neymar and Mbappe, and rightfully so. But it's a very talented team with Verratti and all these guys. But Di Maria is really often by some people forgotten, and he had a really great game. And I feel sorry for him because even last year and the year before, he would have good games, and sometimes the rest of the team would shut off. And to me, it seems the same thing this time around because in the first half, PSG, as you said, were running all over them, and then Manchester City in the second half, but they really, stepped up. The back line was definitely a few meters up compared to the first half from what I saw. They were higher up the pitch and they really put PSG back. I don't know if Pochettino was trying to do a counter-attacking style of football, which I could understand. Maybe he was trying to pull Manchester City in and then catch them on the break, and it backfired because the goal that Kevin De Bruyne scored, if you want to call it that, from that free kick. As a goalkeeper, I would really love your opinion on this because there's two very questionable goals. But let's talk about this one. Kevin De Bruyne scored a free kick, if you want to call it that, but the ball just went straight through Keylor Navas, who's a goalkeeper that I highly rate. I actually think Real Madrid were insane to sell him, but he did not look good on that particular one. Was it his fault, or was it just a complete mix-up by the defense? Tell me your interpretation of this.
I think his reaction after the goal summed it up. I mean, he was disappointed in himself. But what I would say is, some people say, was it a fluke, Because, but at the end of the day, De Bruyne, he meant it. You could see what he did, did he mean to necessarily clip it in, or was it more of a whipped ball and he was hoping somebody to get there? At the end of the day, it went in the back of the net. He got the goal. But I think Navas will be very disappointed. I think it didn't seem to have that much pace at first, and then it whipped in. So it was very deceiving. And I think probably from Navas's point of view, it was a little bit of lack of concentration. Was his positioning slightly off? Maybe because it was wide. So I think from a goalkeeping point of view, he knows he could have done better. You could say again, it's a moment of geniusness. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, for De Bruyne to try that, to risk that from there, and, you know, he was very fortunate and got it. So it was a great goal. I'm not going to take it away from him, but I think Navas will know he could have done better.
Yep, you know, and folks, in case you wonder why James is such an expert at this, he's a former goalkeeper from Scotland. You know, James knows what he's talking about. Plus, he works actively in football and coaching these guys. So maybe James is going to have to give Keylor Navas a call and say, listen, man, step it up. So let's talk about the second goal that Manchester City scored from Riyad Mahrez. It was from a set piece, and a lot of people are saying the wall for PSG took some lessons from Cristiano Ronaldo. In case you're wondering what that meant, Cristiano Ronaldo famously dove out of the way of a free kick. Basically, I think it was against Porto, basically eliminating Juventus from the Champions League. Another situation where the ball went through a gap. Once again, beating Keylor Navas, who was very angry at this point. In this case, a lot of people are blaming the keeper on the wall. What are your thoughts on this?
I'll be honest, I watched this one several times, and I think, first of all, I hate to see this new wall that we're doing now with the four players, the one lying behind the wall.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this logically. If the player does not lie behind the wall, it gives an extra man in the wall, which means the wall will be tightly squeezed and everybody will be able to, hold their position. So I think that way of doing things definitely caused a little hole or opened a gap in the wall. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of the players these days are, how do I say it politely, a little bit scared for a ball in the face, as we know. I mean, maybe they look at the beauty side of the game. They want to be fashion models, but stand up and take the hit. I don't understand why, but we see it all the time now. So it's a common trend. I mean, at the end of the day, if the wall stands where it's supposed to, it's not a goal, because it literally went through the wall. So very disappointing. I could see again why Navas would be disappointed. Could you say that it's part his fault? Because at the end of the day, he's supposed to arrange the wall from a goalkeeping point of view. So I think it's part and parcel of the game these days, but I think the whole wall could have done better, including obviously Navas.
Yep, it was quite hard to watch as a neutral in this game. How comical it was at times. Some of those errors, and I mean, you played obviously at professional level. I played some football, university, but if you dove out of the wall, that was like almost a crime. At least when I was playing, you would get berated by your teammates for basically doing that. And these guys, I've seen that a lot in professional football, but it is what it is. So, heading into the second leg, we'll just talk about a couple stats first. PSG had 41% possession, Manchester City 59, which is expected. They usually have more. 10 shots at PSG, 11 for Manchester City, 4 shots on goal for PSG, 6 for Manchester City, and so on. But we're heading into the second leg. Pep Guardiola deserves a little bit of credit because, that match could have gone away from them very easily. PSG looked really confident and they fell apart towards the end, getting sent off. The tackles were getting very out of control. They looked like they lost the plot in the end. But still, 2-1 is a very close scoreline. So heading into the second leg of the game, do you think that this is done and dusted, for Pep Guardiola? Do you think PSG can, turn this tie around?
At the end of the day, this game is the final for both teams. I mean, because obviously, yes, the final is next. But what I mean by that is everybody wants to make it to the final. So I think both teams will come out all guns blazing. I think it'll be an exceptional semi-final because I think PSG have so much in the tank. I mean, I think if they play to their potential, they play on the front foot, they press, they use the pace that they have, they could really, really give Man City a hard time. But at the end of the day, we know what Man City have too. And I think one thing Pep's done this year is, I think the team seems a more complete team, There's some players in there that if you probably had to say 2 years ago, some of the names on that team sheet would not have been there, And players even like there was times when Ederson, in my opinion, I wasn't sure about him, you know. So I think everybody stepped up. So I think it's going to be an epic semi-final. I'm really looking forward to it. And as I say, it probably reignited my love of the game over the last few weeks, because obviously we're all stuck at home, COVID, you know, all these things. So it was a real spectacle of a game.
Yep, I'm kind of in the camp where I think PSG, they really want this, but then again, Manchester City really wants it. So it's for neutrals, this is a mouth-watering tie, because you have two coaches who really want to prove themselves. You know, Pochettino got to the final last year with PSG. With Tottenham. And, you know, there's a chance for him to get there with PSG now. And, you know, Pep Guardiola, you know, a lot of people, as good as he is, and he's going to win the Premier League, and he just won the cup in England. He really wants to get past that hurdle of, being knocked out in the Champions League. I think he really wants it this time, man. He seemed a little bit more relaxed than he normally does. A lot of people accuse him of overthinking the game at key moments. We saw it with Liverpool, and I think Tottenham as well before. I can't remember who else last year. I can't remember. I think it was a French team. I don't know why it's eluding me right now. But this is going to be an exciting game. And I think the reason why it's exciting, it's very difficult to predict who's going to win, because both teams are highly capable of it. I'm going to give Manchester City a slight edge, not because I think they're better than PSG, because I think PSG showed like a mental collapse in the second half of that first leg. And I think Pochettino probably is going to be a bit concerned about that, because, you know, it's a bunch of, you know, pretty top caliber players, Neymar and these guys. They got a red card. You know, Verratti is known for his hot temper and so on, but they have a decent team, and if they can be calm and really just calm their nerves, the tie is within reach. Manchester City, if they play how they're capable of, because they seem to be that confidence that they had in the second half, which they didn't seem to have in previous years. They always had that jitter about them, you know. Pep had that anxiety about not winning the Champions League. And, you know, Manchester City, you know, they still, you know, that's a title that has eluded them. So I'm going to ask, you know, your thoughts on the final predictions, but I'm going to give the edge to Manchester City but just a little bit. Yeah. Who do you think is going to come away the victor in this tie, James?
Well, one thing I'm just thinking as you're talking there, I mean, there's a lot of talk and speculation about Mbappe leaving, obviously, after this season. I even saw things like Cristiano Ronaldo is going to take his place there while he goes to everywhere else, you know. So I think it's probably a last chance for him to you know, really push himself at PSG. So that may play into it. Obviously, the red card and things for PSG may obviously affect them. And then from Manchester City's point of view, they seem to be a lot more brazen. I mean, I could make the joke to say that they've got a lot of stones now, you know, and because they really are, they stepped up, you know, from the last couple of seasons. So I think it'll be a tough one for PSG. My heart says them, because I'd love them to do it, but I think Man City just seem to have that resilience, that, as I say, that rock at the back there, and I think they may just pip it. But I would love to see PSG bring up some magic and, you know, get to the final.
Yep, you know, I'm a neutral and I'm enjoying this. You know, Man City having a great sort of away form. I can't remember the number right now. Maybe our viewers can comment in the comment section below and let me know what you think. So, you know, that's it, folks. Let me know what you think in the comment section below in our Twitter polls, which I'll post in the link. Who do you think is going to win? You PSG and Manchester City fans. I know there's a lot of them out there, especially in Trinidad and Tobago, where we're from in the Caribbean, but also worldwide.
Just a reminder, everyone, for more episodes with Shaka Hislop, be sure to head over to our YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more updates, interviews, and content.